And let me get the slides on as well. Okay, we are live streaming. The recording is okay. And let me get the slides ready for us. Okay, just to let you know, I am functioning on two separate screens. I also have a third device to monitor the chats. In fact, let me get that started right now. So at any time you can ask a question. You can type it in. You can also write down your question. We'll have a Q&A at the end of the session. Just so I have a quick guide. Um, give me a thumbs up or type in a one if you can hear me and see me okay. All right. While you're doing that, uh, let me get this one done. Okay. So I just want to confirm everybody can hear me and see me okay, right? Okay, awesome. So today's session is session 4 of 12, and the title is Are You a Sales Superstar or Just an Average Salesperson? And what are the things that we can do, to transform our results and our success into a superstar status? All right. Very interesting question. I've had clients this year that performed better this year than last year. Very interesting on that. And here, I want to make a couple promises to you. The first promise is that I respect your time and effort in being here with us on this session. My first promise is that I will not waste your time. I promise to share relevant, valuable information on this session here together with us. And you don't need to believe everything I say. You don't need to think to yourself, I like and trust Chris. I'll back up everything that I share with you. I think that's fair, right? So as I mentioned, we are recording this session and we'll get it sent out to you within 24 hours as a YouTube link so you can replay, fast forward, rewind the parts that you want to hear over and over again. Now, also, uh, all of my sessions are not a pitch fest. There's no hard selling, and I'm not going to get you to buy anything at a unreasonable or inflated price. Now, I may offer some services and products, but I will explain them. No hard selling, and I hope this sounds fair as well, right? Now, if you're okay with this, continue listening. And I'd like to ask you a favor. Like I mentioned earlier, you'll probably have questions, along the way. So you can, like I said, you can type your questions in the chat. I'm monitoring those as well, or you can write them down and you can ask me at the end of our session during the Q&A. All right. Okay. So our current situation, business is already challenging, right? And right now, this year, and maybe for the foreseeable future, we're going to have, or we have extra challenges now, right? We have this COVID-19 affecting the economy. People are hesitant to spend money. Then you add in the restrictions that we have, like restrictions on our movement, challenges in meeting up in person, and so we have to try to meet online. So I'll share this very quickly. We tried to follow up with a client a few weeks ago, actually about a month ago. I called the office and I was told that he's working from home, and I asked how to get in touch with him, and I was told, call his mobile, and they refused to give me the mobile number. So I'm just like you. When I call prospects, I get the runaround. I get the ridiculous objections and excuses. The key is, don't make this your only prospect. All right. Now, when you combine all of this, we have uncertainty. So the thing that I believe is this pandemic is not what is breaking us, nor is it responsible for causing all of our problems. What it's actually doing is it's actually revealing what was already broken. and it's showing us what we need to fix, and we need to fix all of this now. Okay, and that's the reason why we created this webinar series to help you fix a few things, and let's have a better year in 2021, shall we? So I won't go through my whole background because I believe I've covered that several times on this session already. But what I will mention to you is that I started my company in 1998. I started my business and entrepreneurship journey in 1998 in the spare bedroom of my apartment in San Diego, and I was cold calling and selling like a madman. So 4 months later, by myself, cold calling and fulfillment. 4 months later, I opened up an office and I started hiring. 22 years later, offices in I say 3 countries, okay, because we already have reps in the Philippines and clients in over 14 countries. Now, today's topic is very interesting. It's something that I thought about back in 2003, 2004. Um, why are some entrepreneurs, sales professionals, getting average results, and then there are others that are, like really coasting along. It's like everything they touch like turns to gold. They open their mouth and then clients say, "Yes, I'll buy from you," right? So I started looking at that, back in 2003, 2004, and I started looking at what really makes the difference. Many, many people have covered that topic, um, and I found a few things that I'd like to share with you today. Now we have to start here. We have to start with, these four things. So you must make sure of these things. Your product or your service must have quality. It must have a reasonable price that offers exceptional value. Now, when I say reasonable price, it doesn't mean that it was 500,000, for example, and then now it's 100. Okay, reasonable price means uh, not an inflated price, um, and at the same time, how you get something that is not inflated is that you offer exceptional value and you back it up with excellent service. So you have to make sure of all of these things. Okay. So, I want to ask you this question, and then you can answer it yourself in your head. What is insanity? You've probably heard this before. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and hoping for a different result. All right. I'm sure you've heard that before, right? If you're doing these things and you're not getting the results, then stop what you're doing or change what you're doing. Because I'll share this with you. Okay, if what you're doing right now is working, you would have already reached your goal, right? One of the things that I believe is that we want more, we must achieve more, we must earn more, okay? And all of those things takes certain actions. It takes certain skills. It takes certain skills and actions to be able to reach our goal. Now, if you're doing something, every day and it doesn't give you the result, stop, change it, do something else, okay? Now, here's the four main things that differentiate the average from the superstar. First of all is the of course the income, right? Average performers, the income is like right here, and then you have the let me clear this out. The income is right here, and that's if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, it's your income is up and down, up and down, up and down, and the plateaus are okay. That means you're consistent, and we have a baseline, and you can work on that. But when you're up and down, when you're up and down, it really messes with your mind, with your performance. It hurts your confidence, right? It limits your freedom. It limits your time freedom, and it limits your money freedom, right? What do I mean by that? Okay, when I say time freedom and money freedom, I'm not talking about, working from the beach or only working, 3 or 4 hours a day and making a massive amount of money. I'm not talking about that kind of freedom. I'm talking about the kind of freedom that says, hey, you know what, family, um, I think we should plan a short holiday next week. And, ask yourself this, okay, maybe not now, but ask yourself this. If you were to say something like that, have you said, oh, you know what, I don't have the time? Or have you said, oh, no, I don't have the money to do that, right? So when you're average, you're always restricted by your your lack of money and your lack of time, right? And the things that you need to do for your family, you need to take care of their needs, and then we as family members, some of us are parents, everyone is a child of someone, right? We all have mothers and fathers, blessings if they're still around. Mine both are not around. But there's things that we want to do in order to provide for them, and we talk about the basics, the security, the comfort, and then we always want to do a little bit more. If your income is always up and down, up and down, up and down, it's very challenging to plan out what you can do, right? So there's two main things that we need. And these two things are a very, very broad category, very broad categories. Okay, we have the skill set and then we have the mindset. So what is skill set? One of the things that I'll mention first is that for some of you that know me, I always say that I don't really have talents. All right. Um, I'm not an artist where I have a talent to paint or things like that. Knowing me with my background, I started out very rocky in life, very rocky in business and in sales, and I realized that I didn't have talents, right? I have some talents, all right, but not in the business and the sales arena. So what I found as I was learning and practicing and implementing is that I discovered that you need to have skills. Now, the talent that I have is the mindset. I'll share that in a little bit. So we have two things. We have the skill set and the mindset, right? So skill set is really the tools that you have, the skills that you possess, the techniques that you implement. Okay, and this can be for any industry, right? For the sales and business industry, it would be the tools of lead generation, for example. It would be the skills of how you build rapport and how you be persuasive or how you handle objections. The techniques is how do you build your social media or your digital marketing funnel. All right. The tools are I'm sorry. The skill set are the tools, the skills, and techniques of the things that you have at your disposal in order for you to do your job. For example, if you're, let's say, a carpenter or a mechanic, and I use these two examples because carpenters and mechanics, they have a lot of tools. They have the screwdrivers and they have like, 50 different kinds, right? They have the wrenches, the hammer, all those things. So a carpenter would not use a hammer to screw a nail. You have to use the right tool, okay? Um, the mechanic to open up something on the engine, let's say they need a certain size of wrench. So you need to have the tools, the techniques, and the skills in order to build up your sales and business toolkit. All right. Your mindset is something very different. Your mindset is the ability to continue and to want to continue even in the face of rejection, in the face of problems and challenges. Okay, so it would be like, let's say you had the world's most expensive and the most valuable a double diamond tip saw for cutting wood, right? You have that in your possession, so that's a skill set. That's your tool, right? But if you woke up and said, I don't feel like sawing today, right? That wood is not going to get cut. We know the things that we have to do. We know the things that we have to do, but sometimes we let our emotions and our feelings, get in the way of us being able to do it. All right. I'm sure you've said this to yourself. Oh, I need to cold call today. I need to do this. I need to do that. I just don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. That's your mindset talking. Okay. Now, the components of the mindset, there's way more than this, but for the purpose of our discussion, we'll just focus on four. Okay. So, the components of the mindset would be the goals that you have. Now, goals are very interesting. We set resolutions because it's almost 2021. I need to lose weight. I want to earn more money. These are resolutions. Resolutions get lost after 3, 4, 5 days after the new year. Goals are very interesting. Goals are detailed, uh, listed actions. Sequences are listed out and you have a deadline. Most people when I ask them, hey, what are your goals? Oh, I want to make more money. I want to be more successful. What does more money and more successful mean? It's not defined, right? And then I ask, how many goals do you write? How many goals do you? Oh, write. Okay, it's not just up here. That's not enough. You got to write your goals down. Okay. So I asked them, how many goals do you have for, let's say, 2020 or 21? I'll use 2021. How many goals do you have for 2021? Oh, I got, 5 or 6. I got this, this, this. And then they asked me, how many goals do you have? Well, I have all of mine written down. And every single year, I sit down and I spend time and I write all the goals down. And I usually exceed 100 for the year. Okay. And then I go, what? 100? Yeah, because everything that I need to do, it requires planning, which brings us into the next part. It requires discipline. Discipline is really the difference between what makes you average and makes you great. If you look at any great professional in any industry, whether it's sports, whether it's business, entertainment, whatever it is, the discipline and the focus is what differentiates the average from the top tier. Okay, I'm extremely disciplined. I'm extremely regimented. Doesn't mean that I'm not spontaneous and not flexible. What I mean is, earlier I said, oh, you know what? I know I need to cold call, but I don't feel like doing that now. For me, whether I feel like doing that activity or I don't feel like doing it, if it's scheduled to be done, it will be done. Okay. Um, if if I have the option of enjoying myself, of course, who doesn't want to enjoy themselves, right? If I have the option of enjoying myself, but I need to get this done first. I need to get this done because it's going to make me more successful. It's going to get me an extra client. I will do that first before I go and enjoy myself. Okay. So I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself. What I'm saying is that whatever stage that you are in your career, in your business, in your profession, you need to make a decision. Is it more important to go to the beach today, or is it more important that I finish this particular task today? Then we get into mastery. You know, we say things like, I'm a perfectionist, right? And then we say things like, uh, practice makes perfect, right? My opinion is this: practice does not make perfect, because if you practice wrong, you're going to be wrong perfectly. So practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, right? So when we talk about mastery, when we talk about mastery, mastery is a process. Perfection is a destination. How often can we be perfect in 100% of the things that we do? Very, very, very seldom. I don't think if I think about it, I don't believe I've ever been perfect in more than 1 or 2% of the things that I'm doing. What I and I realize that, and you have to realize that perfection is the enemy of success, right? Perfection is the enemy of success. What that means is if you focus on trying to get it perfect, perfect, perfect all the time, you must get it perfect before you show the client. You must get this perfect before you send, you must get this brochure perfect before you send for printing. You're going to delay, and what you delay is time. And time is the one thing that if you delay, you can never get back. If you have a whole bunch of money in your wallet or your purse and you lose your purse, yes, it's a headache, it's a hassle, right? But you can get your cards back, you can get your ID back, your IC back, you can earn the money back. But if you lose time, you can never get time back, right? Then we go into mental fortitude. Mental fortitude is that X factor that we all have. We all have it. It's the X factor that we all have that makes us go, you know what? I faced this crap yesterday. I faced this crap in 2020. Okay. Do I want to just lay down and sleep? It's so easy to just lay down and sleep and escape from reality and lose yourself in something where you forget about your responsibilities. You forget about the things that you have to do. Okay? Or you say, you know what? I'm so tired. It's too hard. I'm going to give up. I'm going to stop doing this now. I'm gonna take a break. Okay. Oh, you know what? I made 15 cold calls, or I set up my digital funnel. My brain is so tired. I'm gonna take a break. Okay. When a prospect says, "I'm not interested," let me think about it. Or when you ask the closing question, this makes sense. Did you want to move ahead with the order? Oh, you know what? I think we changed our mind. We all face things like that. I face things like that, right? The mental fortitude hits you, allows you to take a hit and shake it off and go right back to work. You know, many years ago there was this advertisement. I think it was Energizer. We have the Energizer Bunny, right? The Energizer Bunny was this stuffed toy that had a drum, and then the battery is in it, and then it moves and it keeps drumming. Okay, I want you to be like the Energizer Bunny, because the tagline on that was, it just keeps going and going and going. You, if you know me at all, if you spend any amount of time with me at all, you will know that I don't let rejection, objections, failures, fears hold me back from doing the things that I need to do. All right, and this comes from the discipline and the concept of mastery, and tying it in with the goals that I have that I want to achieve. Now, the components of skill set. Okay, we've defined skill sets already. Um, Skill set to me are the tools that you need in order to get you further along in your goals that you want to achieve. And in our case, specifically in success, in business, in income, in revenue, in leads and prospects, right? The whole basis of skill set is that you have to constantly keep improving. There's all kinds of buzzwords like the kaizen. I think it's ichigari. Whatever it is. But really, what it boils down to is, what are the skills? Ask yourself, what are the skills that I need? What are the skills that I need? What are the skills that show me that are broken in 2020 because of pandemic, because of hesitation? What are the skills that I need now? All right, and those are the things that I need to learn. How am I going to learn them? Who am I going to learn them from? Am I going to learn from Chris? Am I going to learn from someone else? Am I going to learn from an audiobook, a book, a guide? Whatever it is, learn. Okay. uh, these three things that I'm after the definition, the learn, the practice, the implement, is something that I do every single day. What I'm asking you to do is for you to do it every single day as well. So learn. It doesn't always have to be something new. It can be additional skills. And then, what is the next step? The next step is that you practice. Now, here's what I share with a lot of my students and clients. Okay, um, cold calling, handling objection, closing skills. You have word tracks, you have word scripts that you can use. Okay, I'll give you an example. Handling objections. Objections. There are probably about 10 to 12 objections in your specific industry. This 10 or 12, and they all fall into these 10 or 12 categories. Um, you know, some of them are, I want to think about it, too much money, don't have the budget, check with my wife, my boss, my partner, my husband, not my husband. Okay. Uh, then you have things like, how do you close? How do you, what do you say to close the deal, right? How do you say, hey, do you want to buy? I mean, you cannot say that, but what do you say instead of that? Okay, for the objections. For objections, I said there were 10 to 12. Now we actually identified about 31 objections in any industry. Any industry will have all of these 31 combination or some of them of these 31 objections. And we came up with responses to each of these objections. For example, the uh, the price objection, your price is too high, don't have the budget. We came up with 42 responses. 42 responses. Do you have any responses to the price is too high? Most average salespeople, when they get the objection, the price is too high. Oh, I'll give you, I'll give you a discount. I'll lower the price. That's our response to your price is too high. What if you had 42 responses to the price is too high? Or, let me think about it. We got probably 25, 26 responses to the price is too high. How about closing techniques, closing statements? Instead of saying, "Hey, are you ready to buy?" We created, I believe it's 418 ways to close a deal. So I wrote all of these about 12, 13 years ago, and I didn't write it sitting down and like, think about, oh, how do we do that, right? We actually polled and got suggestions from our clients back then, and we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of responses, right? And so what we did was I compiled all of it, I tested each one, all right? And so here's my point. I wrote a book called How to Handle Every Single Objection. I wrote the book. It's a manual, okay? Um, but what do I do every morning? I practice my objections for 5 to 8 minutes. I don't practice all of them. I practice some of them. Then tomorrow I practice another few. The next day I practice another few. I mentioned that we have 418 ways to close a deal. Um, I don't practice all 418 every single day. I practice some of them every day. So, and then what happens when I get to the end? When I get to the end of it, I start over. All of us have heard of San Francisco, right? San Francisco is in California, in the U.S. Uh, they have a bridge called the Golden Gate Bridge. It's in San Francisco. You've seen this bridge in movies. You've seen this bridge in TV shows. It's like a really long bridge, and it's like orangey red in color. What How they maintain it, because the salt content of the air really destroys metal, right? The rust, and it destroys the paint. So what they do is they start from, the bridge is so long, they start from one end of the bridge, and they paint and they paint and they paint, and they take days and weeks and weeks and weeks to paint the whole bridge, and they get to the other side, right? And then what they do when they get to the other side is that they go right back to the beginning and they start again. It's a never-ending process. You see, skill set, when you learn, you practice, it's a never-ending process. And then, the third component of that is the implementation. is the taking of action. And that's where most of us drop the ball because we don't feel like it, right? Now, here's the foundation that I want you to take and put for yourself. Okay? The superstar foundation is identify the activities that give you the greatest results. Identify the activities that give you the greatest results and focus on those activities with constant and consistent action. What does that mean? There's two components of this. Identify the activities that give you the greatest results. What are the things that you need to be doing that gives you results? Is it sitting down at your desk and filing? Or is it like, checking your email? If those activities, the filing during golden hours, during business hours, gives you results, then do it. But in over 20 years, the people that I've talked to, filing at 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. during the day doesn't give you results. My paperwork, and my filing is done after golden hours. And you decide what your golden hours are. Everyone's golden hours are different. Golden hours are the hours that you can generate results, generate prospects, generate clients. All right. So what you do is you identify the activities that give you the greatest results. What I find are the activities that give me the greatest results are prospecting activities, follow-up activities, presentation activities, anything that allows me to find a client or find a lead and a prospect and turn them into a client. Those are the activities that give me the greatest results. All right. And then I focus on those activities with constant and consistent action. That means I do those activities every single day, every single day. So, what are some of the activities? Some of the activities are lead generation. Okay, there's nothing more important than generating leads, whether it's from cold calling, your digital funnel, or referrals, or your own network. There's nothing more important than lead generation. I'll give you an example. If let's say you have 10 clients a month, example, I'm sorry, you have 10 leads and prospects a month that you qualified and you end up with 10, and your closing ratio is 20%. You close 2 deals out of 10. So you close 2, but you lose 8. All right, that's fine. Now, assuming you didn't improve your skills in any other area, you didn't improve your closing skills, your handling objection, your persuasion, you didn't improve on any of those things, but you got really good at generating leads. And instead of 10 prospects this month, you have now 20. Okay? Without improving your closing ratio of 20%, okay, how many do you close this month? You close 4. You double your income, you double your results. Now, if you got better at lead generation and this month, let's say you had 50 leads and prospects, and you didn't improve your closing ratio, still 20%, 20% would be 10. You close 10 out of 50. Now, when you're at that volume, you see, lead generation is one of the most important skills that you need to have as a sales professional or a business owner or an entrepreneur, because leads is where the money's at, right? If you got nobody to talk to, you got nobody to sell to. So let's say you bring it up to 50, example, 50 a month. What do you need to do? You need to get better at qualifying. You need to get better at your persuasion skills. You need to get better at setting your appointments. You need to get better at your handling objection. You need to get better at your closing skills. What you need to aim for is that your closing ratio needs to be minimum 30%, 40, 50, 60%. I've had clients that brought their closing ratio as high as 80%, but the leads and prospects are super qualified, right? You need to have lead generation skills. You need to have appointment setting skills, whether you set your appointments on the phone, or you chat, you text, or you set the appointments in person, face to face. Then you got to get really good at presenting. When you present, nobody wants to hear about, oh, my company is like, 81 years old. We own this building. We have the third and the fourth floor. Nobody's interested in that. People are interested in what can your product or service do for me? What problem does it solve? What benefit do I get? You see, if you if you switch your presentation to, or these stats are that, this pie chart, and all that is BS. Yes, we still have to do it, but you have to put in the component. What's the what is your problem, and here's how my product solves it. Here's your challenge, and here's my service. Here's how my service solves it. This is the feature, and here's the benefit that you get. You need to tell them what benefit they're going to get out of knowing you and using your product or service. Okay. Then we got to get into the follow up, because not very often do people say yes on the first call. When we have that, we call it the one call close. I've experienced that many times. All right. But what I found is that sometimes it takes more than one visit, more than one interaction. Statistically, um, only about 15% of sales and business professionals follow up after 3 or 4 times. There's some of you on this session that I followed up with you many, many, many times. There's some of you watching this on the live stream that, if you're a client, you know that I followed up with you probably 20, 30, 40, 50 times. Okay. We have clients that I followed up for 2.5 years. I mean, I'm not calling them nonstop every day. We have clients that I follow up for 8 months. All right. Just to let you know, the one for 2.5 years turned into a deal. It turned into a very nice deal that made the 2.5 year follow up very, very worth it. Um, I've had clients. Well, I've had people become clients. Uh, because I follow it up with them, from a distance, from emails and, keeping touch with them, not so consistently, that maybe they weren't ready 4 years ago, 5 years ago, but they're ready now. All right. So your follow up skills you need to improve. If you can improve your follow up skills, you will never lose a deal unnecessarily ever again, because all of us have had this, this happen to you. You think about this. All right. You talk to a client. They said, hey, you know what, Chris, uh, I like it. I'll be ready in 6 months. And then you either forgot to call them, or you set the callback date at 6 months, 6 months from now, right? And then you get in touch with them 6 months. Hey, John, I spoke to you 6 months ago. This is Chris with Comtech, and da 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 da. And then you hear, oh, I already bought. Think about that. How many of you have had that happen to you? Or maybe you forgot to call, and they forgot your number, and then they bought somewhere else. If you have family, relatives, or friends that don't know your example in the property line or the insurance, or you own this business, and they buy that exact product or service from someone else, that's your fault, right? Now, what else do we need to upskill in? Just the basics. All right. The basics are, you need to upskill in digital marketing. You must get knowledge, systems, skills, tools, techniques in digital marketing. Digital marketing is not, oh, I post on Facebook today, I post on Facebook tomorrow, I hope somebody calls. Oh, by the way, here's a little pet peeve of mine. I want you to look at your news feed when you see advertising and people promoting something, right? I see this so many times, and it's mind-boggling to me. For example, I came across this post yesterday. Hey, um, attention, whatever. Let's say, okay, I'll use this example. It's not this, but I'll use this as an example. Hey, coaches, trainers, teachers, right? Um, Do you want to be part of a platform that helps get you clients? If yes, click this link. All right. So they called out, hey, this category of business, do you want to earn more money? If yes, click this link and they'll tell you about all about our platform. And I scrolled down and I clicked it. It was very interesting. I took action right away. But I scrolled down and then the post was very clear. Hey, are you a whatever? Click this link for more info or to sign up, right? That's what the post said. And then I go down and I see PM details, interested PM details. What do you want me to PM? It's not my post, but then I'm thinking, what are they going to PM you? They already gave you the info. They already said if you want more info, click this link. But you're so lazy that you can't even click the link. You'd rather type PM and have the information fed to you. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is your competition. Your competition is two things. The competition is yourself, okay? You need to be better than you are today. Your other competition is the mediocrity, the laziness, and the incompetence of your competition that's outside. If you're thinking, oh, my competition is not incompetent or lazy or hey, you know what? Then you are, okay? What you need to do is you need to be better than your competition. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not hard to be better than your competition. It's really not. All you have to do is get skills and have the right mindset. That's it. All right. I'm not gonna go through each and every single line here. You can read that on your own. There's some of the things here that I put on my YouTube channel where I talk about these things, where you can get additional skills, additional techniques. I'll send the link out within 24 hours, where you can visit our YouTube channel and look through the videos. If you like the videos, do me a favor, give me a like, maybe subscribe so that when we put new videos on, you'll see it. Now, one of the things that you need to get really really good at is taking action. Okay, if you decide that you're going to do this, accomplish this result, take the action that leads you towards accomplishing that particular result. So ask yourself this question. Okay, it's like sometimes we get tired. I mean, we're all human beings, right? Sometimes we get tired. Sometimes we say, "Oh, I don't know, if I can, really push on." Right? Ask yourself this question: if I knew that I was going to accomplish X, if I knew for a fact that I was going to accomplish X, what would my actions be today? What would my actions be right at this moment? Ask yourself that question. Okay. Then we go into physiology versus emotions. Um, some people realize this, a lot of people don't. Physiology controls our emotions. Maybe that's too strong. Physiology contributes to our emotions, right? Physiology is the human body. It's like posture, gestures, things like that. Physiology controls our emotions. I'll give you an example. You can play along if you want, but I'll just give you the example on this. All right. So an unsuccessful person. What does an unsuccessful person look like? They slouch, right? Their head is down. Their grooming is off. The hair is like a certain way. They don't dress. They don't dress neatly. I'm not saying you have to wear a suit all the time, but they don't dress neatly. They breathe. They breathe. It's shallow or it's like very sighing. Their speech is slow. They talk about negative things. You see, I'm thinking about that, and my posture is like going. My shoulders are going down, and then my head is going down. All right, just thinking of what an unsuccessful person looks like. If this is you, there's a very quick way to change it, right? Like as we're talking about this, I'm sure you saw me like kind of going down. right? Because that's what I was thinking what an unsuccessful person looks like. And then I feel a little bit down. So you change that, all right? You change to what does a successful person look like? They sit up straight, shoulders back. It's like the neck. They're not looking down. They're looking up, right? The grooming, they got to be neat, all right. Um, T-shirt iron, shirt iron. Ladies, you decide what the equivalent is of that. Pants iron, shoes shined, right? For those of you that have met me in person, and if you have the chance to see me again, take a look at my shoes. We put effort into it, right? So the breathing, breathing, and then your speech is confident. I'm not saying that you talk fast like this, because sometimes people think confident people talk fast. No, you don't need to talk like that. You need to talk about positive things. You need to talk with conviction. Now, here's my final thoughts on our topic today. Okay, my final thoughts are: you got to make everything count. You got to make every phone call count. You got to make every day count. You got to make every appointment count. You got to make everything count. You see, if you're going to do a proposal, do a good one. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be good. When I say good, it has to persuade and convince the prospect that you are the right choice. Okay? We have limited time in everything that we do. We can earn the money back that we've lost, but we cannot get the time back. All right? Think about this, all right? Think about give yourself no choice but to have success. Make everything count. Okay, I want to share this. I'd like to invite you to the remaining 8 sessions that we're having. We have 8 more sessions. You can view the rest of the topics and the dates. I'll send you the link in the email. I'll send you the link to view the topics and the dates in the email. We usually do these webinar sessions every Friday, but of course, last week was Christmas. This week will be New Year. So we kind of skipped a little. We're doing it on a Tuesday. The next one, I'll have to check the date, but I'll send you the date as well so that you can look at that. We also have a very special leadership webinar. I'll send you the details on that as well. That one is a 5-part series. It's a gentleman by the name of Coach D and myself, where we share our ideas and thoughts on leadership. I'll share the details on that as well. Now, I'd like to we'll get to our Q&A in just a minute. So please ask your questions. I'm here to answer them for you. All right. I also want to share this resource. In the final week of February, I'm conducting a very, very, very special sales mastery and excellence. It's a live webinar training. It's one whole day. It's going to go from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I don't have the exact date yet. All right. But here's the topics that we're covering. Okay. Uh, the champion mindset. What kind of mindset do you need? Do you really, really need? And how can you take that and apply it to your sales and business success? Then we talk about professional prospecting. Now, this will cover the online and offline. Because imagine, many, many, many years ago when we didn't have the Facebook, the Instagram, and all that stuff, right? How do we generate leads? Do you know? I'm going to teach you how you generate leads offline. And we're not talking about flyers and brochures, all right? Then how do you build instant and effective rapport? How do you create that first impression that makes the prospect go, I want to do business with you, all right? Then how do you incorporate your persuasion skills and give effective presentations? When I say effective presentations, it doesn't have to be presenting PowerPoint to the boardroom. It can be as simple as a one-on-one conversation. Very interesting question I received was, what if we have impromptu conversations? I hope I answered that question. But impromptu conversations, they can be impromptu, but once you say hello, they're no longer impromptu because you should have all the tools and skills and scripts and features and benefits and persuasion at your disposal. That's your toolkit, right? How do you handle every single objection? I've been practicing handling objections since 2004, every single day. Okay, how do you sell without selling? Because people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. So, how do you be consultative? How do you persuade them to buy from you without saying, buy from me, I'll give you a discount? Then, how do you follow up? I'll teach you strategies that you'll never lose a deal ever again. Now, it's not going to be 100%, but the probability of you losing deals is going to go way, way, way down. All right. Now, we'll have it in two dates in February. It's going to go from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's a one day webinar program. All right. But we'll have two dates for you to choose from. One will be a weekend and one will be a weekday. Now, here's the interesting thing. Um, some people have told me, "Oh, I want to do on a weekend." Some people say, "I want to do it on a weekday," or vice versa, right? You can choose your day. You can do it on a weekday. And if you want, it's not compulsory. If you want, you can attend the other session on the weekend. So we're going to do two sessions of the same thing, two dates in February, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Same content, but as you know, live sessions, a little bit different here and there, right? So one will be a fixed date on a weekday in the final week of February. One will be on a weekend, and you can attend both if you want. You cannot buy it now. It's not ready for marketing or for sale yet, but I'll share this with you. When we do this program, when it's a live face to face, it's USD 699. Now we've done four sessions of this for companies in the U.S., radio stations, a couple different companies in the U.S., and we charge 299, 299 USD. All right. Uh, Here in Asia, I have a soft spot for Asia. It's going to be deeply discounted down to 97. You cannot buy it now. I'm not asking you to buy it now. All right. But I will send you information on the program, in the coming weeks. Now, all the sessions that we have that I've talked about, there's no charge. I hope you don't think that I'm hard selling you on this, right? Um, where we created this paid webinar because I'm going to spend 7 or 8 hours with you, and if you do it twice, it's going to be 14, uh, what, 15, 15 to 16 hours with you, and you're going to learn skills. There's no fluff, there's no theory. It's all skills and techniques on things that if you implement right away, you're going to see your business have an uptick. All right. So I've come to the end of our session. I'm going to open up the Q&A in a quick minute. Let me close this out and unshare. Okay, so do we have any questions from anybody? Lance, quick question for you. I think if you've looked at the email that I replied to you, I think I answered your question. Uh, you can send me an email to let me know if that answer is okay. The other thing that you can do is in the email that I sent to you. I have a WhatsApp and the phone number at the bottom. Usually, I respond quicker to WhatsApp for short questions, and for longer questions, email is good as well. And then if I don't reply by email right away, which I normally do, but if I don't reply to email right away, um, send me a follow-up email. Don't never be shy about that. All right. So before we get into the questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the live stream. and our recording is still going. So if you have questions, you can raise your hand. You can type your question in the corner. Okay, so um, final chance for questions. If there is no answer, I will assume that there are no questions for today. But once again,
Yes.
yes, somebody said something.
Yes. I would like to.
Samuel, morning.
Sorry. Good morning. So I browsed your follow up emails that I frequently receive.
Right,
So basically, it's quite personalized where my first name is written,
right,
and then the benefits of what you're
right,
offering,
right.
and then of course the layout. There are pictures, and then
I think I look better
there's
in
actually.
pictures than in person. Yeah.
So yes, you look better
Oh
in
no.
person.
Okay.
So they are. So it's quite. So this is a template, if I am correct.
Well, it's my template. I designed
Uh,
my template for my purpose. Um, okay, so specifically, what is your question?
so basically, I would like to know if you are
Hmm.
actually designing your email follow-ups like once a month or every
Okay,
week.
I'll answer it this way. It depends. Most okay, the that follow up that you're talking about, the email where I send out the what we're doing and
Yes.
benefit features, all those things, right? That's what I call the soft follow up, and I send it out once a week. I send it out every Monday, usually between 8:30 and 9:30 a.m. Now, I'm not typing and sending out each one manually. We use a newsletter service. Okay,
Okay.
and if some of you have clicked on the links that I sent over the last few weeks, it's Get Response. If I'll send out a link for that in the email that I'll send out to you in the next 24 hours. It's a special link that gives you a 30-day trial of Get Response. But I'll send that link out. All right. So what that does is it allows me to pre-write all my emails for that purpose, and I send it out every Monday. So I usually write it 4 weeks in advance. Okay, that means they're pre-written. Now that's the soft follow-up. Then I have a different level of follow-up where I put a particular prospect on a schedule, and I use paper to remind me. I don't use Google Calendar to do that. Okay, Google Calendar is not enough. I use two platforms for the follow up. I'll share those with you. Now, we cannot go into all details of follow up, um, but I'll cover that on the webinar that I was talking about for February. I'll detail out exactly how you do follow up. Okay, that's for the targeted follow up. Then I have another category of follow up where uh, I put them into a group that needs different kind of information, different kinds of follow up from me. So I have three for this to answer this question. I have three basic follow ups, that I do for different categories. Did that kind of make sense?
Okay. So it just shows that you're trying to personalize your follow-ups.
Right,
So of course you're using a platform already since
right,
you've just to automate things. Now,
right.
so with this, my next question will be, um, when you were like not doing like soft follow-ups, when you're only trying to do like not a templated follow up, like just like a
Right.
short email
Sure.
versus to something like this.
Mm.
Um, what is the difference in terms of like the result or the
Okay.
conversion rate?
Well, the conversion rate is pretty high. It has to be. Okay.
Mm,
Uh, when we talk about conversion rate, right?
yeah.
We sell different products and services. I'll let you know right now. For some of my products and services, um, my conversion rate is as high as 80 plus percent.
Mm,
For some of my products and services, it's ranging between 40 and 50, actually higher than 50%. Now, the 80% is super targeted leads and prospects, and a whole process goes into it before we have that conversion. It's
mm,
very compressed, and it's a very aggressive kind of follow up because the we've identified this particular category of prospects. That's what they need. I mean, I'm extremely aggressive. I'm very hard in the closing. Basically, I call you an, excuse my language, but basically I call you an idiot if you don't buy from me.
mm.
Basically, okay.
Okay.
Because we've established that as the baseline. So when I do the
Mm,
follow up, I try to automate as much as possible. Now, if a prospect requires individual follow up sequence, then I use my CRM. I use my
mm,
CRM because then I never have to think about, oh, am I going to call Samuel today? What am I going to talk about? What did we talk about the last time? Because if we do that, then our brain is going to become like a,
yes.
like a mushroom.
Yeah.
So I forget everything that we talk about,
Okay.
okay? Because I put it out of my mind. But before I forget about it, I take notes during our conversation and I put it into the CRM before I give you a call. Lance, this is a very important part, which I touched on in the answer to you. Before I give you a call, Samuel, I'll open up and I'll review what did we talk about the last time? What were the questions you asked? Did you give me any objections? How did I answer them? What's your concern? What's your budget? I get all that information and I review it and then I give you a call
Mm,
and then I
okay.
close the shit out of you.
Okay. So basically, so you have a separate platform to put all the information for
Right,
that specific prospect
right,
so that
correct.
it will become manageable because we're talking to a lot of people.
It you know what? When I was cold calling, I still cold call for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours a day. I still do that at the age of 50. All right. Uh, at my peak, I was cold calling 6 to 7 hours a day for, 12 years, 14 years. Not because I was forced to, but because, and I didn't enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. All right. But I was good at it because I followed a system and a procedure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So and I was calling 6, 7, 8 hours a day where I'm talking to 200, 200, I'm making 200 dials a day in that 7, 8 hours, probably talking to about 40, 50 people a day. In one week, you're talking to 250 people. In a month, you're talking to 1,000. How are you going to remember 1,000 people that you talk to?
Yeah.
You cannot,
Yes.
unless unless your brain is like this big, right? So, and I get scared. I get very scared when I talk to salespeople and they say, "Oh yeah, I talked to this guy and he said this." It's like, dude, you you're supposed to be talking to thousands of people. How can you remember one guy? I mean, do you understand what I mean? It's because you
Yes.
have so few prospects. It's because you have so few prospects that you can remember them, right? I'm not trying to be insulting, but you get my point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I understand.
Okay. So I hope that kind of answered your question, Zam.
Yes, definitely. So, the biggest takeaway from me is really just to put things in process so that it
Right.
will be manageable. For all we know, it's just a cyclical process.
Right.
So
That's really all it is. You know
yeah.
what? I'll share a final point on this question, Zam. If I can ask everybody a favor, if you can show yourself on video, I'd love to take a screenshot of everyone before we close the session. For this morning. Um, let's see. What was I going to say, Zam? You see, we as best that we can, as best that we can, we have to automate as much as we can. Okay, um, we need to automate as much as we can so that we can focus our time and our expertise in dealing with the people. We talk about a funnel flow. At every stage of the funnel, somebody has to take action, and we have to know what those actions are. So if someone clicks this link or they registers for something or they say, I have a question, we need to we need to be able to pull that out and insert ourselves instead of having the automation.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Juanreen, good to see you this morning.
The CRM that you're using, I think there is a free version of the CRM, although there's a lot of it in the
There's a lot.
market. Yeah.
I use two.
Mm-hmm.
I use two for different purposes. I'll
Mm-hmm.
share what those are in the email that I'll send out. There's one that is free that is very, very awesome. One of the CRMs is free. It's quite robust. I've used probably 20 to 25 different CRMs over the last 8 years, 10 years, and I settled on two. One is absolutely free. The other one is a paid version, which is really good for my purposes. So I'll share that with y'all in the email that I send out. Looks like we have some very nice looking people, some very attractive looking people. That's showing this. Oh, the rest are coming in. The rest are coming in. We have so many attractive, wonderful, pleasant looking people. Um, don't worry, Lance, you're included in the group in that category as well. Okay, so I'm gonna take a let's see, I'm gonna take a screenshot right now. Okay, everybody look a bit serious, but look just still look a bit happy. Show your teeth if you have them. Wow. Okay, now let's try to get everyone looking happy. Uh, I'd like to have you smile so that I can count the teeth that you have. And while I'm counting the teeth, give me a big love, and I'll take the screenshot. Put your hands up or a thumbs up or a thumbs up on the count of three. One, two, three. Tanya, I think you haven't changed and get ready for work this morning yet, right? Okay, so
That's not
uh,
true. That's not true.
not
I'm
true. Okay.
actually, yeah,
Okay, I'm just
I'm
kidding,
actually
Tanya.
walking to my office.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I've used that excuse when I haven't brushed my teeth and combed my hair as well, but it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. Um, okay, I want to
I give
thank
you a sneak
everyone.
peek.
Oh, since you're here, okay.
No.
No, cannot. Okay, okay. So I want to thank everyone for sharing the time with me this morning. Out of all the people that I had on a webinar this morning, you guys are the best. Okay, and
Thank you for the wonderful
also,
session.
oh, most welcome, Tanya. I'll share the link. We're having another session this evening. This evening's session is on leadership. It's a five-part series. I'll be having a conversation with Coach D. I'll introduce Coach D on the session. If you can make it, that's wonderful. If not, still register for it, and then I can email the link to you. If you catch me on Facebook, it'll be on Facebook Live as well. All right. But like I said, if you want the information, just register for it. We'll record it and send it over to you. Because sometimes I attend sessions and then when they don't record it, I get angry. Because it's like you said something and then you didn't give me the recording and I missed it. So we try to make everything as convenient and as easy for the people that we share our time and expertise with. Okay. So with that, I do want to thank all of you. If there are any other final questions, you can send me a WhatsApp or you can send me an email, and I will see all of you very soon, or I'll connect with all of you very soon. Okay.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you, guys, ladies, gentlemen.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Okay.
Happy New
Happy New Year.
Year.
I'll wish everyone Happy New Year on Friday.
Oh,
Promise I'll
is
I'll
there
I'll,
another
I'll
one?
do that. All right.
See you.
Okay.
Have
Bye,
a good
everyone.
one.
See
Bye.
Thank
you. Bye
you. Thank
bye.
you. I'll see you soon, Punrin. Walk safely, Tanya.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Okay. I'll call you at 11:30. Right.
Yep, yep, that's right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, bye bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye.